17.1 is a couplet. The first movement in this couplet is the dumbbell
Squat snatch.
snatch.
Yay!
He looks great.
The second movement in this couplet
No.
is box jump. Not just any box jump.
Handstand boxer.
Burpee
Don't
box
say
jump.
it. You don't mean it.
The burpee,
Yes!
No.
I love these.
box jump,
Over.
and over.
Yes. It's good. It's
4
good.
minutes.
17.1
20 minutes.
with 10 matches. Alternating arms, 50 pounds for the men, 35 pounds for the women. Next,
100.
60, 15, 17.1 is for time
Oh.
with a 20-minute time cap.
Da, 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 da. I love
Anybody
it.
have a baseball bat? and get it back?
I was kind of close with nothing else. So there's the dumbbell in the first one, and we're doing over the boxes, and it's probably gonna be a little bit longer of a workout. So I wasn't too far away. That's good. It's just a kind of a move through it. Like there's no skill involved. It's just go. And one that like it'll hurt the most, but I'm something that's like just like shut up and go.
I'm so relieved
Why?
because this won't hurt my shoulder at all, and I'm really comfortable with both of those movements. So I
To draw a line.
think I'm gonna crush
And
it.
your feet have to straddle the line.
I like it. I like all of it.
It's gonna be fun. I love it. It's awesome. I love for time. I don't like AMRAPs. I love for time. You see the finish line. It's cool. It's very cool.
And we're back.
Wow. Hi.
Oh, hey.
2017 CrossFit Games Open 17.1. Misfit Athletics back with you finally after a year off talking about the Open. Drew and I just did the Open workout.
Sort of.
And we feel, well, I'll speak for myself. I feel a little drunk. But I think we can get through this just fine. I learned a thing or two while I was doing it. So before we get into breaking down 17.1, Drew, what you got for us?
We put a little Misfit banner giveaway contest on Facebook. It was on Facebook, right, Ted? Yes, it was on Facebook. And our good pal from Lafayette, Louisiana, Nick Reese, ding, 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 is the winner of the banner.
Did he just become our good pal? Is he now our best friend ever?
Yeah.
Best friend.
Best
Wow.
friend.
I mean, he's gonna have a
A
banner,
banner
hanging
and
up,
a new set of best friends.
Boom.
Wow. There's a lot of
What a
jealous
day.
people out there now.
Two
We
for
got, any,
one.
we got any camps coming up, Sherby?
Yeah, we got a camp coming up
Hey,
in San Antonio,
alright.
Texas, April 7th to the 9th at Pillar CrossFit. This will be our, third?
Love
time
Pillar.
down there?
Love Pillar, and this
Yeah.
is the first time doing Camp 2.0 at Pillar, so brand new stuff. We know more, and we're going to tell you about it.
Worst case scenario, even if you don't like us, you could pay for a camp ticket and then go the Riverwalk. Pretty fun.
Eat tacos.
Yeah.
Hang out in Travis's
RV.
camper.
Yeah.
It's a candy van.
Don't go in there.
Well, let him break it in first. Okay.
The Winnebango, as he calls it. Sorry, I couldn't
Is that
help
really
myself.
what he calls it?
Yeah, he was calling
Wow.
it the Winnebango
You're
all
giving
weekend.
away his stuff. His
Sorry.
Snapchat
You're
just
ruining-
went way down.
Yeah. Wow.
Winnebango. Sorry.
All right.
Sorry, guys.
So, 17.1. It was fun. Can I sum it up like that? It was a lot of fun. It wasn't. It was took me like 18:34. It took Drew 30,
Infinite.
30.
He's still going, actually.
Yeah. I'm going to head back out. I'm going to finish after the podcast.
Drew loves time caps. So
Oh, man, I do love time caps. They're awesome.
yeah. So Sherb, you got a firsthand view watching Drew and I go. First impressions of the workout. What is going to make or break an athlete in this piece?
I mean, looking at the games athletes versus you guys, it's clear that they
What are
were
you
able
talking
to
about?
they were able
Spectrum.
to pace the workout by not stopping moving the entire time. They picked a pace, they settled into it, and they basically cruised for the duration. I didn't see a drastic change in their pace the entire time. You guys, on the other hand,
Vellner
looked
looks like
awesome.
a robot.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, he did.
You guys early on looked great, looked smooth, and all of a sudden
Thank
you got
you.
to the round of 30 dumbbell snatches
Oh,
and things
baby.
fell completely apart. And I think that's where most people are going to get hung up is after that second round of 20 and 15. You go back to dumbbell, you do 10, you're like, oh my fuck, I still have 20
It
left.
feels like forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, looking at that, I think it's picking a dumbbell pace early on that allows you to stay moving the entire time. And if you're looking at a top score, you're not walking away from the dumbbell. You are staying over it, finishing your reps, and then going directly to the box.
So because I know for competitors, this isn't necessarily a long piece. It's like, you got to be 13-minute range, sub 13. That's your bare minimum. So you believe, after watching us, that it's better for somebody to pick the steady pace right out of the gate, hold it the entire way, versus hitting maybe fast sets and taking a short break, hitting fast sets, taking a short break.
I just think if you see yourself walking away from the dumbbell or chalking your hands or sipping water in this, you're not going to be getting a good score.
Fair enough.
I mean, you don't have to have the dumbbell like as soon as you touch the ground and grab it with the other hand, but you cannot take a step back from it. It's no different than
people that are willing to work know what steady really means.
Of course.
So you guys out there that hear steady, that means slow, your score is going to suck.
Right.
So don't take that advice to heart in terms of like, okay, don't outpay, really take it easy. That's not what he means. He just means don't be frantic, don't stop moving.
I think it's important to say, like, it doesn't matter how fast you go through the 10s, 20s, and 30s. If you get to the 40s and you have to step away from it for 10 seconds and stop, I mean,
it's costly.
You lose all that time. So.
Yep. Yeah, how important transitions. I mean, when I was done, I just slammed my dumbbell down and I just dove over the box.
I think Drew decided to see how far he could throw his dumbbell from his box, so the next round he went over his dumbbell was as far away as possible. But personally, it looks to me like it's non-stop motion. Basically, you set your dumbbell down, you walk right over your box, you do your box jump overs, and then when you finish, it's directly back to the dumbbells. There's no time for chalk. There's no time for walking around, doing a loop around the dumbbell and picking it up. It's you think about the workout, you have a significant amount of transitions, and you just wrote that article about that. I guess I was in it, basically.
You guess you were in it? Yeah, the article was about you, Dumbo.
About 16.5, and you're talking about there's 13 transitions there. There's a significant amount of transitions in this workout, and if you're rationalizing, the dumbbell's heavy, or I don't want to do box jump overs, a lot of time to stand around that could add up really quickly.
Since we're talking about Sherb now, when I come to you, how important is the efficacy of the burpee in this, even though it's added with the box jump?
What are you saying?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I see a lot of people wasting energy in the burpee box jump overs, jumping off the box, going away from the box, and having to turn around. I recommend, if possible, you can get some of that work done on top of the box. Burpee efficiency, making the burpees for a guy like Sherb, who, obviously I'm going to have a different time getting through the burpees, and I could probably take a different strategy, but for him is making sure that his footwork is right. A lot of the stuff that we went over in the burpee efficiency, bar-facing burpees video applies to this, making sure that your weight is going toward the box when you jump up over.
That's the biggest one I saw in the video of the athletes doing it. They did a really good job of making sure as they're standing up, their momentum was taking them to the box. There was no standing up.
Were they stepping up? I was too nervous to watch them.
Fikowski stepped up the entire time. Vellner started jumping up, and then as he got tired and towards the later rounds, he ended up doing a little bit of stepping. But for the most part, Fikowski stepped the entire time and kept his momentum towards the box.
How did I do? I stepped the entire time.
And
then I started shuffling.
So early on, you did a really good job stepping up to the box, using the momentum, getting on the box. But then as you got tired, your step didn't carry you as close to the box. So you had the
I felt it. It sucked.
Yeah.
Terrible.
When we talk about not stopping, that's the first 2 rounds exactly. When you came down, your feet hit, you were already turning in, going into the next one. And then as you got into the third round of burpees over, you come off the box and you stop.
Yeah.
And then turn around. And you really can't stop in this. You got to keep moving.
Yeah.
It's got that, was it 14.1 feel to it with the light snatches and double unders. Is like you just got to keep going and find a way to just keep moving.
Basically, if you don't feel like you're going to fall over, if you don't jump, then you're kind of doing it wrong.
Right.
So if you do the 1 foot thing, that lead foot that you step up with is the one that's planted and ready for the other one to kiss the ground and send you up over. And if you tried to pause, you'd roll yourself into the box. And if you're a little bit shorter, you get a little bit more flexibility, maybe even just a little bit more dynamic. When you jump up and those 2 feet hit again, you got to go right up over. I think that'll be a game changer for especially some of the bigger people.
I agree.
What that does too is that allows you to actually. I mean, you saw when people were pulling the snatch from the ground. It's a muscle snatch, and it's a little bit longer time under tension. And that just saves your saves your legs a little bit for the snatches. Conserves.
I don't know. Did you see my style? It didn't save your legs for shit.
Well,
Tiger style.
All right, let's talk about the snatches for a second. So 2 things that I think it's fair to say we're not 100% sure of the rules on this. So just things to consider. One is coming down with the dumbbell. in the rule standards, it says specifically the dumbbell rep ends with the dumbbell locked up overhead. And they talk about not using your hand or arm to press off the body for control. But if the rep ends overhead, is it okay to place the opposite hand then on your leg as you're controlling the descent? Because that does make a difference and helps you push back into a better hinge. We don't know if that's allowed or not because technically the way it's written, the rep doesn't happen from the dumbbell overhead to the floor in that direction. It's only from the floor to overhead because I think you can drop it because they haven't said you can't. Yeah. Can you do that? I don't know. That may help people control the descent of the dumbbell. And the other thing that everyone wants to know, we're not sure what the rule. Actually, I think Nicole Carroll did touch on it. You can switch hands on the way down, correct?
Yeah, she was saying that she tried
Confirm
both
that
styles.
for yourself.
Yeah, definitely check the rules before you say you're going to do that. But she was talking about her strategy piece that she does after every single open announcement, and she was saying that for her it wasn't a good strategy because the dumbbell's a little heavy for her, so it basically smoked her to change hands. But I think if you can do that early on, some of the best athletes are going to be switching hands as the dumbbell goes to the floor to spend less time transitioning left to right when the dumbbell reps are less.
Well, when you think about it too, if you switch hands on the way down and you go down and set up, you're loading the way you want to load to pull it back up off the floor. If you put it down and then have to switch hands, you technically may lose some of that tension, or you have to change positions or reload to pull it. So if you do switch hands on the way down, you can load just like you do a touch and go, and it should be easier to go that way. Just triple check and make sure that that's acceptable before you pick that standard. I think it's going to be, but that could be huge for the dumbbell snatch.
One of the
What's that, Ted?
The way that they worded it.
We got clarification coming, folks.
Must alternate arms after each repetition and may not alternate until a successful rep is achieved. So if the rep is achieved at the top, that should mean that on the way down you should be.
So
that'd be crazy if somebody tried to throw it to the other hand over their head.
So
Charlie's going to.
The clarification best we have from the website says basically once the rep is achieved, a good rep finished at the top, that rep is over and you can start to switch hands on the way down because the rep has ended if the rep is good. If the rep is no good, right, no rep for whatever reason, then you wouldn't be able to do that because you'd have to do a good rep with that same hand. So it sounds like you can switch hands on the way down, and I'm guessing some of the best scorers will do that.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to be consistent for the entire workout, but I think early on when the reps are low enough that that's going to be something they do. You know, you may see someone at the very end of that 50 try to sprint to get to the burpees.
Sure.
And do whatever.
I think more important than that is where you place the dumbbell on the ground. I saw a couple reps that you did. You got a little lazy on the way down and put it out in front of you.
I couldn't go to the ground anymore.
Okay.
So that wasn't like a planned tactic.
So either way, but if you're putting the dumbbell down out in front of you, you're going to be pulling from a shitty position.
Yes.
It's going to be a slower pull.
If you're trying to go to regionals and you pull that shit.
Right. So making sure that dumbbell
is
back in between your feet. And then the other thing is if you do actually set it between your feet, the not standing up at all between grabbing the next round. So the next rep.
Of course.
Right. So we saw Vellner did that a little bit. He did like a quarter squat and then came back down to it. And, you definitely don't have time to do that.
So when I did it, I treated the dumbbell like a kettlebell almost. And as I dropped it down, I put it way back behind my legs so that when I switched hands, I had to really load the hip. And I know my position was shit at the bottom, but it did give me leverage to be able to put my hand up against the head of the dumbbell. Oh, this looks crazy. And
what were you doing?
Swing the dumbbell. Actually swung it like a kettlebell out the long way instead of trying to pull it in close because I could do that more consistently than always pulling in here. So because it's so light, I treated it almost like a swing. It worked okay for me.
Where's the turn on point? So someone's racing, they're neck and neck. Probably if they're racing, they're in the same region. So they've got that battle against each other, a la Cody versus Austin tomorrow. They're probably going to be in a similar place during the 50s. Where can you turn it on without fucking yourself over?
I think you can turn it on at 50. I think you can go.
Start at 50?
I think at the start of 50, you can start to really turn it on. Even if it's you rip out 30 and it gets dropped and you do cry face 2 steps back, 2 steps forward and continue to work. I think that's better than trying to be smooth through it. I really think the best they're stronger than me. They're going to get in better positions than me. They have better conditioning than me. The best are going to be able to cruise at 50 with whatever they have left and then die for the last 15 burpee box jumps. I don't think if you turn it on, I think if you turn it on those burpees before the 50, you're in big fucking trouble because the burpees actually hurt. I mean, it's a small number, but it's a long range of motion. It's really gets you going. So at that 50 marker, if you have something left in the tank, I mean, it's I think you can take a chance there, especially if you need to make up ground. I think you can take a chance there. And it may be taking a chance, but I think it's doable for some of the higher end athletes.
It's probably worth touching on. Expert level advice coming from me. What's going to cause someone's back to fry out in this workout? So for a lot of people, it's going to be that shoulder flying forward, pull that T-spine out of place, and then kind of vertebrae by vertebrae losing tension that's actually holding everything together. That'll be a big part of it. And then I think the higher level athletes have that kind of dexterity in the posterior chain. So they can get away with sort of going down maybe a little bit faster.
Yeah, definitely.
But I would still say try to keep that shoulder in line a little bit more than reaching all the way back across, especially if you have any issues side to side, sacrum-wise. And then, you know, it's not to me as much about dropping the butt, because like he can keep his butt pretty high and stay in that flat back position as much as it is a little squeeze. Just a little tension there to make sure that you're going through those reps. And even if it's just tension through, you know, the 30 and the 40, and then it's, you know, get the workout
You
done.
really can think of it like a kettlebell swing when you talk about someone like him, because he's going to hinge to the point that it actually looks like that position, right?
Yeah,
Just the dumbbell's going to go to the ground and you're going to be completely flat and you're going to have a
Pretty
slight
close
knee
to it.
bend and you're going to use that big hinge to basically swing the dumbbell out and over your head. So, but if you had a rounded back and you try to swing a kettlebell, you'd be fucked. You just wouldn't be able to do it.
That'd be good.
Right.
No,
So
I mean, going along with what you said, I just make sure your knees get out too. I know those guys did a really good job of pushing their knees out.
I did not
even
do a good job of that.
No, not even you, because I'm at the
Oh,
athletes.
thanks.
Sorry, no offense. They did a good job of pushing their knees out. So I think that's another thing that, along with making sure the spine stays neutral the entire time, is pushing your knees out on the way to the floor each time.
Tomorrow, Drew, myself, and Ted have to get on an airplane and go visit Mark Bell for the weekend. And I think my QLs are not going to allow me to sit. No Delta comfort seat is going to save me for this trip tomorrow. So take these guys' advice and really get into a good position consistently. I got away with being the sloppiest rounded back athlete of all time tonight. I'm going to pay for it tomorrow. So, just
Dave
something to
Castro, let's go high skill, low rep, high weight next week.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's up this. Let's take an old regionals workout, one of the easy ones, throw it back into the open. It'll be the first time he's ever repeated a regionals workout. You know, pistols, handstand.
You lost me.
walk.
Sorry, what'd you say?
Well, I
You
was
lost me.
telling somebody else I actually would like Drew to win next week, because if I go up 2-0 and then he wins 3 straight, there's gonna be like a fucking 1,000 memes of how I blew a 2-0 lead in the open.
It's the year of
yeah,
that.
I know.
Oh,
so
man.
I'd rather lose next week and then like squeak
Steph
the next
Curry
2
with
out.
that big victory.
I can't
17-1.
go up 2-0 and then lose 3. That's not cool. So, anything else, guys?
You guys want to do predictions on the top athlete for this workout?
Holy
So
shit,
we usually
that's
do
tough.
that. We
Yeah,
do
right.
that.
All right, real quick.
Time?
The
The
athlete
best
and
time in the world.
Yeah, athlete and time.
9:58, Matt Fraser.
I was gonna say like 10:10. Josh Bridges.
I'm gonna go with Josh Bridges, but I'm gonna go
7.
That did happen last year.
Yeah.
I know, that's so stupid.
1 second.
I'm gonna go 9:31, really fast.
Bridges 9:31.
Yep.
Gabe Garcia.
Just
What
to be way out there, I'm gonna say Noah goes 9:49.
Noah wins it.
Sure, why
Wow.
not? I would actually say Matt Fraser, but
He just got interviewed saying that he doesn't give a shit about the Open too. But
Who did?
Noah.
oh
yeah.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. He doesn't
But
care if
anyway.
he wins it this year, but he
Sup,
still
Noah?
wins.
Okay, Misfit. Who's going to win? Who's got the top time in this for a Misfit?
Oh baby.
Austin.
Because it's pulled into that shorter a little bit.
Can girls count? Can
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
I'm gonna say Alexis.
Yeah,
Yeah?
I would say definitely Alexis.
This is
Yeah.
just right up her alley.
What is their weight? Like 25 pounds? Like
7 ounces. No, 35 is
Yeah.
like Lay's weight.
She's stronger than me, and her conditioning is
The
still just outrageous.
yeah, short range of motion.
What?
I said it's the same as
Her
yours.
conditioning? Yeah, we're on the same level of conditioning. Yeah, pretty much. I missed my calling in the girls'
You did.
side of the
Bummer.
CrossFit Games. Yeah. Okay.
All
All
right.
right. Are we done, guys?
Yeah,
I think we might be.
All right. Thanks for tuning in. 17.2 next week. Peace.
Good luck.
Good luck.